We're all here for the International Educator Certificate, IEC for short, from AmericEd. And basically we have 6 sessions together. 5 are the 5 sessions for the course, and the 6th is the IEC test. Today we're going to have a brief introduction as to what the program is exactly. And then afterwards we're going to talk about our first 2 topics, our first 2 workshops, Introduction to Teaching and your mission statement. So let me go through what I have to say first with the introduction. I'll answer some of the questions I usually get, and then I'll be more than happy to answer any other questions you have. First, what are the requirements for certification? What do I need from you in order to finish and complete this whole program? Number 1, I need the application that I gave you. Okay, I need it on Wednesday. You can take your time, revise it. If you have any questions, I'll be more than glad to help you answer these questions. Let's just start first and talk about what I need from you. I need 3 things. You're going to give me 3 things. You are going to submit to me a copy of your bachelor's degree. Bachelor's of Arts, Bachelor's of Science, preferably in English. If it's not in English, that would be fine. I just need a photocopy. I don't need an original. Then you need to submit a letter of good conduct from your school, and this will be supplied to you. I'll give you a letter, a form, next time, and you just need to fill it in and have a school administrator sign it and stamp it. And third of all, something called verification of teaching hours. This is something that we will give you again on Wednesday. You just need to fill it in, sign it, and stamp it for your school. So these are the 3 things you're going to give me. Then, you need to attend and complete the assignments of the course. These are 2 very important things. Our course is called a 24-hour basic pre-service course, or 24-hour teaching certificate course. It's kind of the norm now in many states in the United States that you need to complete a 24-hour course before getting your initial certificate. So our 24 hours are divided onto the 6 sessions, the 5 course sessions, and the 6th test, and on the assignments as well. So attendance and the assignments together give you the total of 24 hours. So we need both. Okay? And I'm going to answer some questions regarding what if I can't attend one of the sessions, or what if the assignments are late. I'm going to answer all this. Complete classroom observations by AmericEd staff member. Basically what we do now with the classroom observation is, since we're all from the same school, so one of you will be my designated cameraman, who will videotape 15 to 30 minutes of any classroom, any lesson that you have, any grade, any class, and submit this to our review, and then you can keep the original. We don't need to keep a copy if this is something you don't want. And finally, which is the most important, pass the IEC test, which is a very simple test. If we attend and finish the assignments, it's very straightforward. Now, let's answer a couple of questions regarding things that I highlighted. Attendance and assignments. Attendance is essential. You must attend 5 sessions times 2 hours each. That's 10 hours. 2 hours on the test, that's 12 hours. That's half of the 24 hours. You must attend all the sessions. If for any reason someone is not able to attend, all of the sessions are videotaped, and you can come here and watch the session one more time at any date or time that we can arrange together. So this should be fine if anybody cannot attend one of the sessions. Although I do prefer that you do attend so that we can all work as a group from beginning to end. Second thing, the assignments. The assignments are not graded, but they are either acceptable or unacceptable. Most of the time, they're acceptable. So if you just follow whatever the assignment is, it's going to be acceptable, and there's no problem. There are no grades. Okay? Unless the assignment is unacceptable, you need to redo the assignment. Classroom observations, as we already talked about, I need a videotape, 15 to 30 minutes of each of your classrooms.
What if we don't teach anymore?
That's fine. If you're not physically teaching now, that's fine. No problem.
And they're all not teaching now because we did not start yet?
No, not now. You can submit this anytime later on,
Okay.
once school starts. Okay, just before you receive the certificate, we just need to review this, or review this classroom observation. About the IEC test. Now the IEC test, next week, since it's a very intensive course, we usually do this the week before the test, so next week is going to be the week before the test. So what we're going to do next week is I'm going to give you sample questions for the test so that you know what the test looks like. But basically it's 50 questions multiple choice, 2 hours. 60% of the questions are very direct, straightforward questions from our sessions, from the handouts that I give you, and from whatever notes you're going to take. 40% are critical thinking questions that are a little bit harder, where I give you a certain scenario from something happening in a classroom, and I give you 5 options or 4 options to choose from, how to deal with this certain scenario in the best way, and you choose the best answer. So 60% straightforward and direct from our sessions, from the handouts you have, 40% a little bit harder critical thinking questions. Passing grade is 50%, so 25 out of 50 is your pass mark. Your certificate does not show your grade, so if you pass, you get the certificate. If you don't, you need to retake the exam. The fees for testing and certification include 1 extra retake for the exam, so you're allowed to take the exam twice without paying any extra fees. Okay? But I haven't had, except maybe 1 or 2 people retake the test out of, let's say, 50 or 60, so I don't think this is going to happen with any of this. Okay? Let me see, what else do I have? Okay, when do we get our certificates? It's a question I usually get. When do we get our certificates? After the test, you will allow about 3 weeks for a score report to come out, an official score report to be sent to you, saying what score you got and whether you passed or not after 3 weeks. Then after passing, allow another 3 to 4 weeks for the certificates to be sent to Washington, D.C., attested and returned to you. So total 7 weeks after we finish the test should be our maximum time, okay? I try my best to have it much sooner than that. But maximum time would be 7 weeks, about 2 months after our test date. What does the certificate look like? I'm going to show you. I have a scan for one of our old certificates. And this is all I have for questions. Let me see what else we have here, and then I'll be glad to answer any other questions. Now, what are the course topics we're going to be talking about? We basically have 6 basic topics. I understood that you wanted to add or change rather 2 topics. We all have this now. That you wanted to change 2 topics, but it was my idea that we keep the basic 6 topics because I feel they are very important. So I will merge 2 extra topics into the 6 topics. However, this does not mean that the test is going to be harder or longer. It's going to be the same test. This will be something we'll be doing throughout the session, but you will be tested only on these 6 basic topics. Now, what are the basic topics we're going to talk about? Introduction to teaching, today we'll do this. Your mission statement, today we'll do this as well. Becoming the super teacher, Wednesday. Pedagogy and instructional design, next week. Discipline in the classroom, and how the brain learns, next week as well. And we will merge technology in the classroom and the organized teacher within our 6 topics, okay? Probably not today, probably starting from becoming a super teacher. Our schedule is as follows. We have 6 times that we will see each other, 5 sessions and 1 test. We started today, Monday the 12th, and then Wednesday 14th, next Sunday 18th, Monday 19th, Wednesday 21st, and then the test on Monday 26th. So this final one here is the exam. Okay? This is how our certificate looks like. This is one of the certificates issued last year. Yours may look slightly different, although I think it will be almost the same format. What it is basically, it has your name here. This is a little clause that says exactly what you have successfully completed to earn the certificate. It is sealed here and stamped, and each one has a unique ID number, which is your certificate number. After the certificate is issued, it is notarized here twice and stamped, you can't really see it here, by the notary seal right here. And then it goes to the District of Columbia, Washington, D.C., where it goes to the chief notary, and the chief notary again notarizes it, puts a seal of the state, Washington, D.C. seal, and attaches this to the original certificate. Finally, it goes to the Department of State, where it is again attested, signed by the Secretary of State, Hillary Clinton, and all attached together, and you can't separate them afterwards, okay, or else it becomes void, it becomes as if you didn't do anything. And again, it is sealed and stamped, sent back here, and given to you within 7 weeks. Okay, and hopefully much sooner than that. Okay. Any other questions about the course itself? I'm more than glad to answer.
No, the exam,
Yes?
is it on computer? Or
No,
is
it's a written exam. You have a test booklet with 50 questions, 50 pages, each page one question, which makes it easier. And you have an answer sheet. All you need to do is answer on the answer sheet and then give us the test booklet and the answer sheet. Okay, and it is hand marked. It is not done by computer. Any other questions? Yes, of course we do. Okay. So, since you don't have any other questions, let's start with our first workshop or our first session. Topic, introduction to teaching. Now, when I say introduction to teaching, some teachers are offended because they have experience and they don't need an introduction to teaching because they know how to teach. They've been teaching for 4 years, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years. So why do I need an introduction to teaching? Introduction to teaching means introduction to teaching using our course. Introduction to teaching from our perspective. Introduction to teaching and introduction to our IEC, International Educator Certificate program. That's what we mean by introduction to teaching. So if you just forget for a little while that you are already teaching or you have been teaching for a long time and just see what we have to say here and try to make this your basis that we will use throughout our course until we finish the text. Now, we have 5 core foundations, okay? And these 5 core foundations or core beliefs are the basis of what we will be teaching throughout the course, what you will be learning, and hopefully what you will be applying throughout your teaching. Okay? Now, we have basically these 5 things that we need to talk about. I'm going to read each one and discuss it briefly, and then throughout our course we're going to go back and address these points and try to apply them to everything we do in each of our different workshops. Number 1, teachers teach and treat all children as if they are their own. And I want to really stress the word treat, because we all teach and we all have a job to go to school and to go to our classroom and actually teach them science, math, English, physics, whatever. But we need to also know that we are treating them as if they are our own children. And once I enter the classroom and I close the door, I believe that these are my own children. I teach them and I treat them just as I would my own children. Secondly, teachers demonstrate mastery of 2 things. 1, methods of teaching, and 2, the subjects that they teach. And here I want to talk about 2 types of teachers that we see frequently in our schools. Number 1 is the teacher who is excellent at the subject he or she teaches. A person who is excellent in math, excellent English teacher, someone who knows physics like his name, someone who knows science very, very well, a scientist, a mathematician, a perfect teacher when it comes to the subject, but a teacher at the same time who doesn't know how to teach, a teacher who knows what he's teaching but doesn't know how to apply what he or she is teaching. And on the other hand, we have the flip side of the coin, where we have a teacher who knows how to teach, a teacher who can grab the attention of everyone in the classroom, a teacher who can have everybody sitting down, can control the classroom, has discipline in the classroom. Everybody loves him. Everybody can listen to him. But he lacks the information necessary in the subject matter in order to deliver this to his students. We don't want either one of these. A teacher, an excellent teacher, a super teacher, as we'll say in a little while, must be able to master, and I don't say good at, a master. Mastery. Mastery is very important. Perfect. Okay? Trying to reach perfection. In the methods of teaching, how to teach, and the subjects that he or she teaches, what he or she teaches. So I need to be a master of what I teach and how to teach. And if I know that I lack either one of these, I must improve myself. Because if I don't have both of these and I don't master them, I will never become a super teacher. Number 3, teachers are held responsible for their students' learning and well-being. And this, sadly, is our culture, the world over, where responsibility is something that teachers don't take. Not all, of course, okay? A lot of teachers are very responsible, but responsibility is very, very important. Because what happens is we have lots of factors affecting the learning process, lots of factors affecting the outcome of my classroom. And these factors are easy to blame. When I enter my classroom and I am unable to teach perfectly or properly as I would like, I can blame my administrators. I can blame the boss. I can blame the parents for not bringing up their kids well, for not being interested in their education, for not doing what they should do. I can blame their friends. I can blame the country. I can blame the culture. I can blame lots of things. I can blame the generation. But at the end of the day, I only enter a classroom, close the door, or the doors in this case, and at the end of the day, I am responsible for my students. Nobody else. If they're in my classroom, I am responsible. Not their parents, not the administrators, not the other teachers, not their friends, not the country, not their family, nobody, just me. So teachers are held responsible for two things. For the learning of their students, which is something I think all of us agree on, but more importantly, for the well-being of their students. And this is something that a lot of teachers do not realize. That as a teacher, if I teach science, I teach English, I teach French, I teach math, whatever I teach, I am responsible for the well-being of this student. For his physical well-being, for his emotional well-being, I am responsible for bringing up a person. For bringing up a person, a child, and making this child an adult. It's not about just teaching my subject or making sure that they score well on the tests. It's about bringing up a person, a human being. Okay? So we are responsible for the learning and the well-being. How many times have you seen teachers having break duty where they should be watching over the kids and they're not? Talking on their telephones, eating, having a chat, not even going to break duty. This is responsibility. I'm responsible for their well-being. From the time they enter the school until they leave the school, I'm responsible for their well-being. I personally would say I'm responsible for their well-being even outside the school, but this may be asking too much of lots of teachers. But if they're in my school, I'm responsible for these two things. The topic very quickly, let me just address this and then we'll talk about it later on. Bullying. How many of you have somebody in your classroom bullying another student, making fun of another student?
Nearly all of us.
Maybe all of us. Probably. Every year, every classroom, there is someone annoying, bullying, insulting another student. And when this is happening, the student's parents aren't there. The administrator, the boss that you may blame isn't there. Who's the only adult in the classroom? Just you, it's the teacher. So it's my responsibility to care for the well-being of the student. Because bullying is one of the most things that leave emotional scars in people. And when they grow as adults, this is going to affect their lives. And I was there, and I saw it happening, and I didn't do anything about it. Or perhaps I did, so that would be something good. So we're responsible for their learning, and we're responsible for their well-being. Teachers constantly work on improving their instruction and gaining knowledge. And this is essential. You may start teaching, or let's not say start, now, right now. You've been teaching for 10 years, you've been teaching for 1 year, it doesn't make a difference. And you consider yourself, or are considered by your students and your colleagues and your administrators, as a very good teacher, as an excellent teacher. It doesn't stop there. It never stops. You must improve. Why? Because one of the most important things I can do to my students, without actually trying very hard, is to be a model. I expect all my students to become better by the end of the school year. If I have a student who at the beginning of the school year can score a 90% on a test, and then at the end of the school year he scores a 90%, you shouldn't be happy, even though 90% is good. Why shouldn't I be happy?
Because they didn't do anything.
Because I didn't do anything. He could already score 90%. So I want this 90 to become 100, 99, 98. I want it to become better. I must model this myself. The first time I enter my classroom, nobody's perfect. So my students have a lot of opinions about me. And they know teachers really well. And they know how to find negative points in teachers. They must see that as the year goes by, I am improving. I'm becoming a better teacher. Hence, you as a student should become a better student as well. So how do we improve? We improve by reading. We improve by having our professional development, watching whatever, excuse me?
More preparation.
More preparation, investing more time, more emotional and physical effort. We're going to talk about this very soon, in order to become better in how to teach, that's instruction, and better in what we teach, and that is our knowledge. Finally, teachers cooperate with parents and administrators. And I personally believe that this may be one of the most things that we as teachers lack, cooperation. Teachers have to cooperate with the parents and the administrators, because it's a triangle, okay? And in the middle of this triangle is a student. And the three corners of the triangle are the teacher, the administrators, the boss, the principal, and third, the parents. If we don't work together, this triangle will never be able to form a positive learning experience for the student. So we need to cooperate. And when we talk about cooperation, it can't be perfect from everyone. So let me say something here. Some of us as teachers, okay, feel that our administrators don't understand us, or that our administrators aren't cooperating with us, so we won't cooperate with them as well. Some teachers feel that the parents aren't cooperating with us. If they don't care about their students, why should I care? About their children, why should I care? But cooperation is about being proactive. And a proactive person, a proactive teacher, is the person who takes the first step. I don't react to what happens, I start. I begin. So cooperation must be due to proactivity from the teacher. And let me tell you something. When is the first time, let's make this a question. When is the first time you have had contact with a parent of a student in your school? Who would like to answer? This year, last year, any year before? Like, during the school year, when is the first time you meet a parent or start talking with a parent?
Usually first day,
First day. To do what?
nearly nothing.
Huh? Any other answers except nothing?
Usually we call for the parents after
Yeah,
the
the
first
first
day.
day.
After the first
When they're getting to
Sometimes
school, it's
they-
like always
yeah,
time
something
to talk to
class
them.
and
The first day,
Usually
sometimes they
it's
find
like-
you to the
Okay.
teachers on your way in,
Yeah.
and they start talking to the parents, sorry.
Okay, so we either meet them at the very beginning.
This is not
No,
professional.
it's not professional.
No,
It's not
I think
professional.
here we're talking
No.
about
No,
the
no, no.
first meeting.
Not necessarily a meeting. The first, but not a greeting. Okay, not just introducing yourself, but rather talk about his or her child. When does that happen? After the first test?
No, if there's.
Is it usually to discuss test scores?
No, if
No.
the problem arises.
No, because usually this is when you can evaluate how things have been going,
Okay,
probably before the test.
great. So what we're doing here is our professional duty. Okay, as teachers who are responsible for the learning of the students, where we wait after we have started to know the level of the student and waited for a first test to evaluate the level of the student. Then we talk to the parents, and we talk to them about what? Lack of progress,
Classroom behavior.
classroom behavior, grades, okay, plans for what to do later on. But whether you like it or not, what we focus on is usually the negative. If we have a parent to tell something positive, we do it quickly, okay? Don't worry about your child, he's perfect, everything is fine. But if we have a problem with the child, we can stay on the phone or in the meeting for an hour discussing all the problems with this child. What happens is, most of you or some of you are parents, and you know that no matter what, we all love our children very, very much. And if someone is going to attack my child,
Then it's like,
yes, exactly, I'm gonna be defensive. Whether I like it or not, even if I'm wrong. But one way or the other, I can't have someone attack my child. Now, criticism isn't always attacking, or if I'm a teacher, I care about this person, so I'm not attacking them, I'm working for his or her benefit. However, parents don't always, aren't always easily convinced that there's a problem with their child. Especially if you tell them this child has a behavioral problem, has a learning problem, has a disability, learning disability, for example. They don't accept this. And learning disability, by the way, is a very broad term. Someone who can't concentrate except by doing this and playing with the pen has some kind of learning disability, which is very simple. Now, the point is, what I want a teacher, what we believe teachers should do, cooperation is to take the first step with dealing with parents. I never wait until the parents come to ask me about their children. And I never wait until I have a test score to discuss with them. And I never, ever wait when I have something negative to say about the child. If you start the school year by saying positive things, simple things about this child, as a person, not as a learner, you will gain the cooperation of the parents very, very easily. So first day of school, second day of school, I phone the parents on the telephone. I am Miss Teacher, Mr. I teach whatever, and I just want to tell you that your child today did something great. There was someone who couldn't understand anything, and he actually helped him and gave him this. He's a wonderful child. I commend you on how you brought him up. Good job. I'd really love to see his progress throughout. Somebody in break time fell down and nobody helped him. He helped him and he went with him and he took him to the nurse's office. Anything positive. He answered a really hard question today, even if it wasn't really hard. Give positive feedback to the teachers and start. To the parents, sorry. And start, don't wait for them to call you. Don't wait for them to contact you. If you're able to do this at the very beginning of the year, you will establish a very good relationship with the parents. And once you have something negative to say about their children, they will help you.
I think they will tell you, but you have already said this and that about the child.
Yes, I'm talking about the child as a person. Okay, so if you start the school day, the first day of school, you don't know who's good and who's bad, in learning-wise. But you can say something positive. You can find something positive. For example, your 7-year-old girl has a very nice sense of style. I love the way she does her hair and the way and her dress was beautiful. For example, she came out beautiful. Anything positive you can find in the student. Tell it to the parent. Yes.
I think there's an important point concerning the last aspects, improving instructions with cooperating with parents.
Yes.
I think understanding the psychology of students will help me improve my instructions.
Of course.
Because I think the instructions will be based on understanding the student.
Excellent.
And it goes as well with the cooperation, because when I talk to the parents, I have to make them understand that I understand the student's mistake, because it's based on some kind of a problem he has.
Mm-hmm.
So they will understand that I understand.
Excellent.
They will appreciate and they won't comment or attack.
Yes, that is perfect. What we need to do also very important, but this needs a very long time. So this is something to do throughout the year. I need to know my students very well. I need to know them as people, and I need to know where they come from. I need to know their background, okay, their parents, what their parents were. Are their parents separated? Do they live together? Do they have brothers or sisters? What activities do they do? What sports do they play? What hobbies do they have? All of this will form a very good idea about the student, and I can relate certain problems to this and deal with it. And we will discuss this in much detail when we come to discipline the classroom next week. We'll do this in a lot of detail, so thank you for bringing it up. Okay, so these are our five core foundations. Basically, teachers teach and treat students as if they are their own children. Teachers have mastery of two things. They master what they teach and how to teach. Number 3, we are responsible as teachers for the well-being of our students and for the learning of our students. 2 things, very important. Number 4, teachers improve constantly. We improve our instruction, how to teach, and our knowledge of what we teach. And 5th, finally, teachers cooperate with parents and teachers cooperate with administrators. And we cooperate for the benefit of the students without personally being offended by any party not wanting to cooperate. Now, lists are very important for the test. So whenever you find a list, it's really important. So when I say we have 5 points, then this is very important. If we say we have 7 steps, then it's very important. Any list is important for the test. Now, we have something we call the 5 nouns of great teachers, which are from the 5 core foundations. They are treatment. Okay, that's the most important thing, how to treat the children. Mastery, and I focused on the word mastery, because it's not just enough to become good at something, we have to master what we're doing. Responsibility, improvement, cooperation. So the 5 nouns of great teachers are these. Please know them by heart and try to apply them to whatever we do throughout our course. Teachers come in 3 flavors. There is no such thing as a bad teacher, because if you're bad, you're not a teacher. A teacher can't be bad. We basically have 3 types of teachers. We have the good teacher, we have an excellent teacher, which most of you are, and we have a super teacher, which some of us are. And a super teacher, the word super is intentional, because super in English means above. Super means above. Superficial means on the top. Super means over and above. So super means more. If I'm an excellent teacher, if I think I'm a perfect teacher, I can do more. Okay, now I think I'm the most perfect teacher. I can still do more. So super always gives me the idea that I can do better, I can do more, okay? Being on the top. So we have three flavors. We have a good, excellent, and super teacher. And how do we become an excellent teacher from a good teacher, or a super teacher from an excellent teacher? By investing. And teachers basically invest the following. Teachers invest time, a lot of time. Teachers invest emotional effort, a lot of emotional effort. Physical effort, some physical effort. And finally, money, some money. Now let's discuss these 4 points briefly, then we're going to do a little exercise. Now, the more you invest any of these, the better teacher you become. How? How do I invest time as a teacher? The most important asset that I have as a teacher is my time. Now, teachers have the most vacations out of almost any profession. However, teachers need to spend a lot of time in order to perform their job. Preparation, basically. The more time you spend preparing for your performance as a teacher in the classroom, the better teacher you become. Emotional effort, I'm going to leave this to you to write here, and then we're going to discuss it. How do I, as a teacher, invest emotional effort? Emotional. What do I invest? Okay? Physical effort, what effort do I do physically and invest by becoming a teacher? And finally, money. I'm going to leave this as well because it's the trickiest. Some people have no idea what to write, especially new teachers. Older teachers know exactly what to write. So money is something that we invest as teachers in order to become better teachers. How? Let's just take a couple of minutes. I'm going to distribute this here and try to write your thoughts. Okay, you're going to keep this paper. So just write your thoughts here. What you think you invest as a teacher, you personally, in terms of time, emotional, physical effort, and finally, money. Yes, please. At your own level, just start. A couple of minutes.
Under time as well, or?
Yes, please. Yes, whatever you think you personally apply in terms of time, emotional effort, physical effort, and finally, money.
Physical, right? Not everything.
Yes, emotional, physical, money, and time. Each one of the 4.
Okay.
Okay?
I can use this.
This is for you, by the way. You don't need to write on it. You can write anywhere else. Okay, allow me to pass by to see what you're writing.
What do you mean by physical?
Going up and downstairs all day. Physical effort.
Yes,
Carrying
we do
heavy
that.
books.
We do that
Physical
a
effort.
lot.
Okay, going back and
This
forth.
was me.
Physical effort. What do you physically invest as a teacher?
Waking up in the morning.
Lack of sleep. Leave it till the end if you want. try to write at least one for each column. You don't need to write any. Okay. Share with me, please. Let's just start something. What is the most column that you have filled? Or what do you think is the most that you can talk about? Those who find that time is the most thing you invest, please raise your hands. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so that's almost the majority. Emotional effort? Physical? Wow. Money? Okay, so we all agree that the most things teachers invest
Are the things
in everything, but the most from what you have given me so far is time and emotional effort. And this is true. Okay? Now let's just go over them briefly. First of all, time. I think the first thing you all wrote as I was passing by is preparation. You've all basically said that we prepare a lot. This is time. Now let me tell you that preparation is the best investment you can invest in as a teacher. The more you prepare, the better you prepare, the better teacher you'll become, no matter where you are now. Preparation is essential. And schools should give teachers a lot of time to prepare by helping them, by giving them a light workload in order to have time to prepare, and giving them circumstances and the place to prepare.
I think this is preparation.
Yes, this is part of your
This
preparation.
course is it.
Yes, of course, it is part of your preparation. But what I mean is preparation, everything I'm going to talk tomorrow, Wednesday. We're going to talk about becoming a super teacher. We're going to talk about becoming deliberative. When I plan my lesson, I should plan every single thing I do from the time I enter to the time I end. I plan what I wear. I plan what I say. I plan how I say it. I plan my tone of voice. I plan who I'm going to ask. I plan what I'm going to ask. I plan what I'm going to do after the class. I plan a lot of things. I plan the examples I'm going to give, when I'm going to give them, who I'm going to look at when I'm giving a certain example. This is my preparation. And you will have an excellent lesson if you prepare so well. Okay? If you know your students and you prepare your lesson to be tailored for those students, not a basic lesson plan that works with any classroom, you will have perfect and excellent results. But you need to invest a lot of time. What else? Other than preparation, what else?
After the lesson.
Excuse me?
It's
Saying
when,
that teachers prepare after lessons.
After lessons, yes.
But makes it very easy.
Yeah, this is
Because I
super
know
teaching. What I've already done.
The time of certain preparation thing, it's related to reading, researching, being a lot of research.
Okay, so why do we call this improvement?
Yeah.
Remember when we talked about teachers that they should be constantly improving themselves?
Yeah.
This is time. How am I going to improve myself without listening to lectures, attending professional development, reading more books?
Inventing new activities and I.
Exactly. Thinking about new activities, researching, all this is improving. That's a lot of time.
and also in cooperation. If I'm going to call someone anytime.
Excellent, sir. Cooperation. And this is very, very essential. One of the main reasons we as teachers don't cooperate with parents and with administrators is that we don't have time. Okay? We hold a meeting during break time. Okay? And this is something administrators and principals use so they don't get any negative feedback, because they know if it's during break time, everybody just wants to listen to what's being said and run because it's the break time. But if you tell them, the lesson you have right now is canceled, and come, we have a meeting instead of your lesson. Teachers are going to say everything they want to say.
Yes.
So this is part of time. I want to cooperate in my free time. I finished school already. I don't want to sit with my boss for a meeting. I don't want to call the parents and meet the parents. I have other things to do. So one of the main reasons why we don't cooperate is because we don't want to invest time. But all of this relates to your time and your effort and your teaching during the lesson. If you're not going to invest this time, you're not going to be able to teach well. You're not going to get the results you want, and you're not going to be happy while you're teaching. Okay? Now, some teachers are lucky enough to invest a little time and get good results. But most teachers who invest a little time get bad results. And a lot of teachers who start teaching and then finally get burned out, we're going to talk about this later on, happens because they want to invest. They're not ready to invest all of this time and all this emotional effort. So they teach, and then they find that they don't like what they're doing. And so they leave teaching. On the other hand, teachers who invest properly love their job. And they go every day to teach because it is a passion. It is something they love doing. They stop thinking about their salaries, they stop thinking about the hours they work, and they only work because they love the children, they love what they're doing, and they are so proud and happy to see that these children have learned something that they have taught. And this is what we want, we all want, but we can't reach that without investing 4 things at a time. Okay, let's talk about emotional effort. I like this one. Let's call it smile,
On our bad days.
even though you can't. I've seen some of you write something similar to this. Smiling in front of our students, being nice to them, acting as if we're in a good mood, even if we're not.
Acting as if you like them.
Acting as if you like them, even if you don't like them. Yes, treating them respectfully, even if they do not deserve it. Exactly.
You
So
get
this
to
is-
like them after some time. Even the people who are not liked by anybody else, if you act like liking them,
You will like
even
them.
the other teachers would respect this and they would,
Yes, that is
then
true.
what does the other teacher see in you?
That is true. That is true. And respect and liking is a reciprocal relationship. It's something that goes and comes. If I don't like you and I don't respect you, I can never expect you to like me and respect me in return. And again, teachers are.
I respect many people that I don't like.
Excuse me?
I respect many people that I don't like.
Are you talking about your students or are you talking about people?
I'm not sure. What are you
Yeah.
talking about? Be very careful, Sam.
Many of them
Okay.
in this room.
In this room? Okay. What else? Emotional effort.
Empathy. Empathy with parents and students as well.
Okay. You mean by empathy, sympathy?
No, I mean by empathy is like you are in their own shoes.
Exactly.
Their
Okay.
shoes.
I just want this definition because those who don't know what empathy means. Empathy means I put myself
In
in
their
their
shoes.
position. I think from their perspective. And this is very hard.
Parents and students.
Exactly. This is very hard. This needs a lot of emotional effort. Now,
You can't be friends.
what else? Being friends. Even if you don't like them, Mr. Sama. Trying to become their friends, even if you don't like them, is very hard.
But being friends with your students, I find it, I can't agree, not agree, but I find it not very difficult, not applicable for everyone. I for myself cannot be.
Let me tell you something. I have a personal opinion where I say teachers should be friendly with their students, but they shouldn't be friends with their students.
Yes, yes.
So it's being friendly, okay? Acting friendly with them, but not being their friends. A teacher cannot be a friend for a student. If you are, you're going to lose them sooner or later, okay? It may take a month, a year, 2 years, 3 years. They're going to stop calling you. You're not going to see them anymore. They're not going to be your friends anymore. But you need to be friendly with them. So let's say friendly. What else? Emotional effort.
I think sometimes I get stressed out.
Thank you.
If
Finally. Press.
Especially for one thing, if I'm implementing a new system or some kind of a new experiment inside the class, and I don't know how they're going to.
What the result is.
Yeah, so it might work or not.
Stress.
But
And
if I'm not
I'm
even sure
surprised that
about
this
that-
came in as the 4th point. That says something about your school. So it's a very good school because
No,
stress wasn't the
we're
first
very
thing.
stressed.
No, that's true. Stress is the first thing that teachers invest emotionally. Stress from the parents. Stress from the administrators. Stress from the test scores. Stress from if what I'm teaching reached them or not. Worrying about what I'm doing. Worrying about whether they learned or not. Worrying and having stress about these kids' personal problems even. The if I have a child who comes in every day and I can see that there is a major problem with this person, I can't do anything about it, this is emotional effort, this is emotional stress, feeling that I can't do anything. Now, trying to help, again, emotional effort. So thinking about my students, being related to them, thinking about all these things is very stressful emotionally. Any other points before we go to the next one? Okay. Physical effort, my personal favorite, stairs. It seems that all schools are becoming vertical now rather than horizontal. A lot of stairs, up and down the stairs all day. This is physical effort. Carrying books and materials around is also physical effort. Lack of sleep, okay. But of course, lack of sleep for the reason of investing time for teaching, not for any personal reason, then this is related to teaching as well.
Sometimes you can even work when you're sick. It's like
Having to come to school even if you are not feeling well, even if you're ill, okay? Because you can't miss school because
School trips.
simply
going on school trips.
nobody can do this
And
other than
field
you.
trips.
Yes, school trips. And school trips, by the way, also comes under emotional effort because it's a responsibility. Now you're not responsible for them inside a room, you're responsible for them in outside the world. Okay, what else? What about in class? No physical effort in class?
Decorating the class.
Decorating the class? Well, what about teaching?
Making
Teaching.
Jumping around and acting like a clown all day in order to explain it, going back and forth. Okay? Of course, all of us have different styles of teaching, but in general, we do physical effort throughout the day. And if we have lots of classes during the same day, it's very physically exhausting at the end of it.
And handling long days as well. Staying after school hours, handling long
Yes,
days
of course.
for any kind of event is
Exactly. All of this is physical effort that we put as teachers. But again, every single thing that we have written here and every single thing that you have said directly affects the outcome of your teaching and the ease of your teaching. Staying after school for a meeting. Staying after school to prepare for a party. Going with the kids on trips. Meeting with the parents. Smiling even though you can't. Trying to be friendly. Empathy. Preparing. Improving. Cooperating. All of this at the end. If you invest, you will find a return. You will find a reward through your teaching. If you want to invest this, don't expect your teaching to become better. If you're happy the way you are, then you don't need to do anything. But if you do invest more, you're going to become happier. Finally, money. Now, I found that lots of you had no thoughts about money. First thing is, first thing I would talk about, I don't know if anybody wrote this, are salaries or pay. Now, we're not talking about a particular grade or a particular school or particular system or particular country. Teachers the world over are underpaid, except perhaps for Finland, I guess. Okay? Yeah. Finland, they pay a lot of money to teachers. But teachers the world over are underpaid, especially that most teachers come from other backgrounds. Like most teachers are originally lawyers, doctors, engineers, accountants. They have something else they could work as that could bring them more money. But they chose to teach, therefore sacrificing higher pay. So accepting low salaries, in a sense, is an investment in terms of money. What else?
Taking courses, classes.
Okay, so,
Educating and educators.
okay, thank you. Let's call this professional development. Part of improving, if I'm going to buy books, I'm going to attend courses, if I'm going to buy things to read and to use, this is also investment.
Charts, sometimes I read charts.
This is very important. No school in the world, however good, will supply the teacher with every single thing he or she needs. At some point in time, a teacher will need to buy something or some things out of his or her own pocket in order to do what he or she wants. You buy charts, you buy pens, you buy pencils, you buy extra books, okay? You may photocopy papers, for example, because you're in a hurry. Things that you invest in, things that you do, is an investment in money. You print at home things, that's electricity, that's ink, okay? So we invest money by buying things and buying materials for our own classrooms. Even if schools do supply a lot of materials we need, at the end of the day, sometimes we have to get our own stuff with us when we go to school. Okay, anything else?
Rewards.
Rewards, excellent, thank you. Yes, I saw this, a couple of you wrote it. Rewards, prizes, gifts. Now, the school probably won't supply this if I have some kind of competition. If I promise my students at the end of every week, there's going to be a winner for something that I'm doing and I'm going to have to give them something. It may be something very simple, it may be something expensive. But at the end, it's me who has to pay for these rewards. And if you teach a lot of classes throughout the whole year, it's going to become a big sum of money. Okay? Now, take 1 minute, please. Take a look at what we've written here. Then we're going to have a brief break, and we'll come back. Okay, so before we go to break, any questions, any comments, anything you'd like to add? Yes, sir.
Point 1 and 3 in emotion.
Yes, sir.
I can't find a lot of differences.
Being friends or being friendly, as we said, is something that you need to invest in throughout the year. It's something that happens from the first day you enter your classroom till the very last day. It's a process where you are trying and you're improving on this friendship. While smiling, even though you can't, is something abrupt. It's something that happens on a day that you are in a bad mood, but rather you need to do something right now to be in a good mood with this class, and then go back to your life after you finish your classroom. So that's the main difference. Okay, anything else? Okay, so we'll have a 5-minute break, please 5 minutes exactly. Then we're going to continue with your mission statement, which is the final part of today's session.